guys here. I am, like he said, Mariah Drinkard. I'm the director of the Talent Development Complex, which you walked past it as you came down this hallway. What we are a music resource center, so we are available to you, the community, to come to us so that we can consult you or help you out with any resources like tonight's speaker series to sort of progress in your music business careers. So whether you're an artist or an entrepreneur, we are here to help you guys. So we're going to be learning a little bit more about some of the things we do, programs and services as we go on through the night. But right now, I'm going to introduce Ben Yonis from the University of Memphis.
Thank you, Mariah. I have to acknowledge Mariah Drinkard. She was my student last year, and I'm so excited that she is kicking butt here. Those of you that are students in our program, that's what happens when you work hard and get back to your community. I'm not going to speak very long. You didn't come to hear me. But I do want to point out how excited I am that this is happening and that it's not just a one-time thing. This is the first of a monthly speaker series. This is next month's event. You should all mark your calendars before you leave, March 19th. We've got Martin Atkins coming here, who's a fantastic guy that does just about everything from labels to writing to drumming. Played in a lot of big rock groups over the years. Also has written some fantastic books. It's going to be giving discounts for those of you that come. But basically what I wanted to say is that make sure you know that this is a partnership between the University of Memphis, our music industry program, and the Talent Development Complex and the Consortium MMT. And I'm just really, really excited about what's going on here, and I hope everybody can get on board. This is a very smooth transition, I think, from the Memphis Music Foundation to the Talent Development Complex, and it's important that all of us, all the Memphians that do music, all work together and unite. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up George Monger, who I believe is going to say a few words, if he's still, oh there he is. He's going to say a few words. Let's give it up for George.
Thank you, Ben. And again, as Ben mentioned, this is in partnership with the University of Memphis. So as a University of Memphis graduate, I was able to find this pen and make sure I wore it tonight. What I wanted to do is tell you a little bit about the Consortium MMT. We were founded in 2013 by Hall of Fame songwriter and record producer David Porter, who decided he wanted to give back in a broader way. We spent the next 9 months of 2012 writing a curriculum in our core program, the Soul Right Music Mentorship Program. It takes place 3 times a year. We have about 400 applicants from all over the world during the course of the year. We accept 30 per session in those 3 times. So about 90 talents per year come through the program. Those that are exceptional are elevated into a program we call Emerging Stars at Work. The back half of the Talent Development Complex is dedicated just to the emerging stars to continue to hone their skills, and we then take the quality music that they create and promote that to the music industry. We do that at no cost to them. We do that at no ownership of any of their rights to their music. We're doing this purely for the purpose of building a music industry. When there was a music industry in Memphis, at its apex was in 1973. That industry was built off of high-stack gold wax in America. That industry in today's dollars would be worth $1 billion in economic impact. And that's our desire, to create quality music and create opportunities for our musicians. Right now, they're earning about $400 a week as writers, producers, and artists. That's the needle we want to move. And one of the key ways of doing that is providing the knowledge and insight from folks like David Porter, Stevie Wonder, who has contributed to our programs, Valerie Simpson, the writer of I'm Every Woman, and many, many others, over 130 artists contributing to our programs to share that insight. Again, that's the purpose of the Consortium MMT. Our second location, the Talent Development Complex, also houses the Music Resource Center. As Ben Yonis alluded to, the Music Foundation, in 2014, we merged the Music Foundation into what we do at the Consortium, keeping their Music Resource Center program and retooling that. We've partnered with InGrooves to provide digital distribution to these independent musicians, over 700 retailers across the United States, as well as analytics as they sell product and start tracking sales. We provide a whole suite of premium services that we make available here. at the space. So just wanted to give you a little bit about what we do. You can see all of our programming at the Consortium, MMT.org, and any questions we can answer those tonight. One of the programs that's really the flagship program of what we do in partnership with Visible Music College is run by our program services coordinator, Renisha Mays. I'd like to have Renisha come up for a moment, just give a quick overview about that program and why it matters to our musicians and artists. And then we'll get started with the speaker series. Renisha, if you'd come on up.
Basically, the Custom Attention Program is a 6-step program. It takes 12 months to complete it. Each step helps artists to develop if they're working on an EP or an album. The first step is your artist development. It goes into music production, music publishing, bookings, marketing, and sales. All of those are to help developing artists as they grow as an artist and help them develop. And also with that product, when you're finished with the product is supposed to help you as an artist keep creating as you go along. So once again, you can have more information about that if you just contact me, and we'll sit down and figure out exactly where you are with your EP or your album, or if you're in the process of even working on something like that.
Thank you so much. Without taking much longer, what I'd like to do is introduce someone who really doesn't need very much introduction. If we could, of course, David is a lifelong Memphian and founder of the Consortium MMT. He's had a hit record in each of the last 5 decades, over 300 million records sold, and again, wanted to give back in an impactful way. And so what we'll do is we'll have David come up and make a brief comment, as well as introduce our speaker for the night, and we'll have a conversation-style setting between David Porter and Brett James, and then we'll open up for a short Q&A. And again, this is a series that we will do. Our intent is to do it in a monthly pattern. However, unless we know there's a quality artist we can commit, we may not do it every week. We want to make sure we're impactful speakers to the community so that there's quality takeaways that you all help us do from a standard perspective, and that we hold ourselves to. So if we could, just know that, again, this one is going to be fantastic this evening, and there will be another one March the 19th. But without any more hearing me tell you about all the wonderful things we're doing, I'd like to welcome our president and founder, Mr. David Porter.
How's everybody going? I've got a weird sound going on here. Hope everyone's doing great. Let's see if we can get the sound again. Straight? Now say it again. How is everyone doing? Thank you so much for coming. This is a very, very important and special day for us, in that we want to do some constructive things for Memphis music. And we want to do it in such a way that we at least be a contributor to us having a thriving music industry in Memphis, Tennessee again. And so we feel extremely fortunate to be able to call to bear some of the greatest names in the music business that at periodic different times we'll have coming in, speaking to different audiences about the creative process of making great music. Tonight we're extremely pleased and happy to have Brett James with us. How many of you read a little bit about Brett James? Can read anything about Brett James? Well, if you hadn't, you'll hear a little bit about one of the greatest songwriters and the greatest talents in our music industry today. So how about putting your hands together for Brett James? Well, Brett, first, welcome to Memphis, Tennessee.
Thank you. You guys hear me at all?
Can you hear Brett?
Thrilled to be here. There you go. Better?
Okay. Well, Brett, thank you so much for coming. And many of these wonderful people here, I know one gentleman told me that he wasn't familiar with who Brett James was, so I know he was not listening to very much radio, TV, and everything. Well, Brett was kind enough to fly in on his plane today to be with us, and he's leaving out tonight. But he was telling me that he says I've got a parachute on my airplane, so I know he's going to be safe wherever he goes. So even if he runs out of gas, you know. But Brett, this is some of the great talents that we have in Memphis, Tennessee, and some persons also here who are supporting others who they feel comfortable with their talent. So we want to just spend a little bit of time talking about some of the creative process that I think will be beneficial to them. Creating a hit record is what we're going to talk about this evening.
Fantastic.
So, tell these wonderful people a little bit about some of the activities that you've been doing in the past 4 or 5 years so they can get a little bit abreast of the Brett James that
I do a little bit of everything. I primarily write songs. That's my main job every day. I write a song almost every day still, every day. I probably still write and record 100 songs a year. I produce some artists. I don't produce much anymore, but I've produced over the years Taylor Swift, Jessica Simpson, and some country artists that you guys might have heard of. And then I have a publishing company as well. I have a small boutique publishing company in Nashville with 8 songwriters that write for my own company. And so that's enough to keep me busy pretty much. That's my daily thing.
Well, he's very, very kind and didn't brag too much, but if you check the discography on Brett James, you'll find that not only does he write songs, he writes a lot of hit songs. And so that's the great thing about being a talented writer. You can underplay it, but the world knows about your creativeness. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that.
All right,
cool?
I'm in.
Okay, the subject matter for this evening is creating a hit record. And so we're going to just talk about songwriting. Is that cool?
We can talk about songwriting.
Okay, there are many things that...
How many songwriters we got, by the way? All right, good. That's good enough.
There are many things that people have the tendency to associate creating music, and they say, well, like most people create from what they feel or what they think, what their own personal experiences, and that kind of thing. And I say in the Consortium program, that's good in its place. But if you want to do this on a consistent, long-term way, you have to create what other people desire to feel from what they hear, based on what you create. So unless you're creating something that has connectivity to it in a massive way, then you're satisfying self, but you're really not necessarily creating a hit record every time you come up with an idea. So our goals should be to create a hit record. And so you've done an unbelievable job with that. So let's talk about a little bit about that. When you start off in your processes in songwriting and creating the idea for songs, what are some of the stimulus that you use to give you some idea about the kind of ideas that are marketable in your mind that you want to write about?
Sure.
What are some of the things?
You know, every day's a little bit different with songwriting. You guys probably already know that. I'm a commercial songwriter. I'm not a performing songwriter, so my job is to write songs for other people. It doesn't, in which case, it really doesn't matter what I want to say in that song, or what they want to say. And so, a lot of times I like to work from, I love to have an artist in mind. I love that. In Nashville, we kind of have a running list of country and pop and rock artists that whoever we're writing for that day that are recording. And for me, I like to put myself in their shoes. And that's, if I'm good at anything, that's probably the thing that I'm best at, is being able to kind of put myself in the artist's shoes and kind of get in their brain a little bit, figure out what they want to say and how they want to say it. So that's sort of the secret for me when you're writing for other people, is to listen to what they do, know what they might want to say, kind of know something about them, and then try to really target that and actually hear their voice in the song. Whether it's a 15-year-old girl or whether it's a 40-year-old guy or whoever the artist is, my job is to sort of say what they want to say.
And then when you think in terms of doing that, there's a thing called a market out there,
Yeah.
right? So there's a thing called getting that idea over, in a sense.
Sure.
In other words, adding some connectivity in a sense. So what are some of the marketability thoughts that you put when you think in terms of saying what a particular artist wants to say? What are some of the thought processes that you use to decide on how marketable some ideas that you may have on how not marketable they are.
Sure. Well, I mean, there's some real basic songwriting tips. You want to write tempo if you can, because artists are always looking for tempo. They don't want to put 9 ballads on a record. They're not going to want a record everybody wants to listen to. That's kind of, marketing 101. You want to write, typically we think of more positive thoughts. Typically we think of things that, if you're writing for a male artist, write what women want to hear. If you're writing for a female artist, write what she wants to say. Or it's more important about typically, it's a little different writing for males and females. So, those are the things that are kind of marketing, songwriting 101 things to think about as you sit down to write. How does that artist want to be represented? I mean, a male artist want to look cool. So another thing you want to think about is, does this song make them look cool? I keep feeding back. Sorry about that. It might turn me down just a touch. Who's got that? I'll talk louder, but I think we're feeding back. There we go. Okay. So that's, you always want to, the artist, all of our artists want to look cool. That's the bottom line. So if I can look like a badass while I look like a sensitive badass, we kind of win the day, right? So there's all those kind of things you think about as you're writing songs for other people that are kind of, they become second nature after a while, but that's part of the marketability of any song.
And then when you think in terms of that, then there has to be a certain aspect of finding a way to make the material have an individuality about it that creates a kind of market uniqueness based on it being able to separate itself in the marketplace from other ideas that may be talking about falling in love. You write a song about falling in love, and if you're talking about falling in love, unless you find a unique way or an individual way to say it, it may not have the connectivity power that you like in someone else maybe getting go with an idea. So what do you look for as far as when you look at that artist or look at that song? Some of the things that you look for, trying to find a way to find an individual kind of personality inside of that idea to give it a story.
Well, I think if I've learned anything over the years of doing it, and I've written, I'll just do a disclaimer. I've written about 2,500 songs. I've been lucky to have had 500 of them recorded, which means I've written 2,000 songs that made me no money at all, and wasted years of my life writing really bad songs. So, I don't know much more than anybody else. But that said, the thing that I've learned over the years of doing it for a really long time is spend a lot of time at the front end. Your song's only going to be good at the end, as good at the end of the song as it was as the idea, as the seed, as the concept. And a lot of times I think what new writers don't do is make that idea, the seed or the concept of that song, original enough. And if you're writing a song about falling in love and you call it Falling in Love, guess what? I don't care how great a song is, it's probably not going to get cut. But if you come up with a great idea that talks about falling in love in a really interesting way, then you're onto something. And I think a lot of what, especially new songwriters do, is don't spend enough time on the front end making sure that concept, title or hook is strong enough. And, that takes a little extra digging. And what happens, especially, I don't know if you guys co-write, sometimes if you're by yourself, dig a little harder. Sometimes you might get a room with somebody you don't know. You're kind of nervous, you're kind of itchy. And so all of a sudden, something pops out, caution sign. Oh, great, let's write caution sign. And you write it, and it's a good song. But guess what? The world has enough good songs. So if you don't take that extra time to spend that extra few minutes and make sure you're really digging for the best thing you got that day, you're not waste your whole day.
Exactly right. I think someone's having a good time back behind us, isn't it? Hey, Walt, would you check and see?
What's he doing?
He's moving.
Oh, really? It's a real swing? Why wouldn't you?
All right. Well, why don't we to that individual aspect of what we just talked about? How about playing a little something that gives us an example of
Sure,
that?
I can do that. Y'all give me a second. Let me pull out a guitar.
You want to hear him play a little something that kind of relates to that?
Should I plug in?
Yeah.
About to plug in. Don't worry, everybody's ears here. All right, then. Trying to think what to play.
Making it feel good. This is where we are right now.
example of, I don't know if this was the most unique idea ever written, but I wrote this song with Esther Dean. You guys know Esther Dean? From like This Perfect Movie, stuff like that. Guy named Brian Kennedy. Kelly Clarkson made it a #1 song. It's not a country song, but it's as an idea. I mean, we fought with all kinds. We had this track. We were working from a track that was right in LA one day. And we were writing to a track that we loved, and we went through about 5 different ideas before we landed on this one, and we felt like this was sort of original and worked out. Mr. Know-It-All, think you know it all, but you don't know a thing at all. It ain't something, y'all, when somebody tells you something about you. Think they know you more than you do, so take it down on the pill to swallow. Mr. Bring Me Down, you like to bring me down, but I ain't laying down, no. I ain't going down, ain't nobody gonna make a fool out of me. Nobody's gonna tell me how it's gonna be. You should know that I need not follow. Oh, you think that you know me, that's why I'm leaving you lonely, lonely. 'Cause baby, you don't know a thing about me. You don't know a thing about me. Mr. Play the game, don't got yourself to blame when you want me back again, but I ain't coming back again, 'cause I'm living my truth without your lies. Let's be clear, baby, this is goodbye. I ain't coming back tomorrow. Oh, you think that you know me, that's why I'm leaving you lonely. 'Cause baby, you don't know a thing about me. You don't know a thing about me. You ain't got the right to tell me when I wanna go. No right to tell me acting like you own me lately. Baby, you don't know a thing about me. You don't know a thing about me. So what? You got the world at your feet, then you know everything about everything. Well, you don't understand a single thing about me. Yeah. Oh, you think that you know me, that's why I'm leaving you lonely. 'Cause baby, you don't know a thing about me. You don't know a thing about me. You ain't got the right to tell me when I wanna go. No right to tell me acting like you own me lately. Baby, you don't know a thing about me. You don't know a thing about me. Mr. Know-It-All, you think you know it all, but you don't know a thing at all. 'Cause baby, you don't know a thing about me. You don't know a thing about
Yeah. Now, I can say that clearly the commerciality, the creativeness, the uniqueness, and making it feel good, that message was profound in that song, but the fact that you were able to make it feel good while you put them in their place was also one of the great pluses about that song. I remember Kelly Clarkson singing that song. That's a great piece of work. Does anyone have a question that you want to pop to Brett, you just about this?
Why are you performing?
You know, I failed miserably as an artist. I have a very long story, but it's a long story. I went to med school for 3 years. I was on Arista twice for a total of 7 years. Failed miserably at that, and then I gave up the music business. Thought I was quitting in the year 2000, and went back to medical school. And when I went back to school that year, I got 33 of my songs recorded and 5 top 10 signals. And I was going to med school in Oklahoma. And so I decided God was telling me something, and went from a failed artist to being a lucky songwriter.
But isn't it interesting that Brett, to take ideas and make them feel good, it must, in other words, make them be ideas that the public listening to it would be receptive to it, is one of the tricks of the trade. I mean, if you're able to do that, that's one of the pluses of creating connectable material.
Well, that's what music's all about, right? It's all about invoking emotion, in my opinion, you know? Does it make me laugh, cry, or dance, right? You know, and if it doesn't do any of those things, what's the point, you know? And so, you feel good, or feel bad, or feel dance-worthy, or whatever it is, you know, it's got to evoke something in the listener, or there's no point. And that's how music is language, and how well you speak it. You know, that's sort of the secret, right?
That's it. But
this guy's, by the way, created some of the best feeling songs in the history of all song. And I can't believe I'm up here there for you. This guy.
Well, let's talk about shopping and plugging songs.
Sure.
You as a publisher and also successful songwriter, you've gone through stages before you got to the level of having all the success that you had to go through some steps to get to the level of acceptability of being accepted.
Sure.
So let's take it a step back to the point before the success where you were working on getting that door open to get someone to be receptive to you. What are some of the things that you encountered? What are some of the pluses that you've taken away from that to help you?
Well, it's challenging. You guys know it's hard just to get somebody to take 3 minutes and listen to a song, right? I mean, everybody's busy. There's lots of songs in the world. There's a lot, you know, and to even get someone to take the time to sit down, someone who can help you to take the time to sit down and listen to you is a big deal. And that's in fact a hard first step, because these doors don't open themselves. You know, they're tough to get through the doors to get to where you want to go. In Nashville especially, we still have a pretty tight publishing situation in a sense that most people go through, you know, the publishing channels to get their songs where they need to go. It's really hard to get a song to just use Keith Urban or Kenny Chesney or Tim McGraw or Miranda Lambert unless they're getting it from someone they trust, someone that, because they don't have that much time either. So there's a whole filtering process that people have to get through before you get the song in the hands of either the artist or the producer that can make that decision. And so the first step is A, to make great music. You know, I mean, I started out just like everybody else. You do what you can do in your basement, and if it's amazing, guess what? People will pay attention. And so the first thing is to focus on your art, because if your art is really there and really great, you won't have a hard time getting people to pay attention. I just signed a kid from Jackson, Tennessee, that is as talented as anybody I've ever met. Nobody had ever heard of him, you know, 6 weeks ago. And out of the blue, he'd been kind of just saving up. He knew, I think he knew he was good, but he'd just been saving up and writing and writing and writing and writing. And it went from, nobody had ever heard of this guy who had 9 publishing offers in 2 weeks. And I had to fight to get him to my publishing company. I had to, you know, because, and guess what? He's making great money, and because the music is that good. So, I mean, that's the first thing. A lot of people kind of want to put the cart before the horse, and they want to, how do I sell this? How do I sell this? How do I sell this? What you're trying to sell is not that great sometimes, you know? So make sure that's right, and then when that's right, you know, then it's time to really start knocking on doors. And any door you can get into, you know? I mean, I think that's the secret. Anybody that can help you. I hesitate to say this, but like, I run into a lot of people now who just don't trust the music business. And I will only speak for Nashville. I know LA a little bit, I know London a little bit, I know New York a little bit, but I can only speak for Nashville mostly. People aren't trying to screw you. I mean, And a lot of people come into it thinking that people are there to try to screw. It's guys like David and me who just had some luck, who are just trying to help the next person up and just trying to look for talent. And a lot of people come in like, oh my gosh, somebody's going to steal my stuff. Nobody's going to steal your songs. Nobody's going to steal your ideas, really. Nashville's such a small community that, I mean, I would say that if I screw David, everybody in Nashville is going to know about tomorrow and not want to work with me. So it keeps our business really pretty much on the up and up. And so, you know, in my opinion, it's kind of good to just get your songs wherever you can in the hands of professionals that can get them to the next level.
I think that hearing what you say, speaking in terms of being sure that the quality of the creative process is magnified in the effort that one puts in it is a profound statement. I mean, if you're going to do this, and if you're going to seriously do this, you got to find out where you are in the creative pecking order of credibility with who you want to be credible against. So you've got to find in an honest way how comparable to the quality of what you're doing is to what's going on around you.
If the songs aren't good, then all the websites and all the Facebooks and all the stuff in the world aren't going to get you where you need to go. And that's, I think, what you're trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes. And so finding the unique ways we were talking about earlier, the unique ways to come up with marketable kinds of approaches to ideas is also one of the things that I think is something that young writers who are looking for success need to look at. You don't know a thing about me. The song, the lyrical content of that song is so profound, so powerful. How much time did you spend on being sure that the transition from section to section in that idea was credible and was a strong feeder for the next section to be stronger and stronger?
Sure.
That didn't come quickly. You had to put a thought process into that.
Yeah, and it has to grow and it has to kind of get more intense as the song goes. And I do love songs like that that are really angry songs that feel great. I mean, how many of you guys like Love Yourself by Bieber right now? How good is that, right? You know, I mean, that thing just feels so good. He is so pissed, you know? But, I mean, I love songs like that are kind of, you know, that's an interesting emotional kind of connection because I have it to that song right now. I just think it's such a great song, but it's really it's an angry song.
You know, if there's anything to be said, and the great thing about meeting writers like yourself, Brett, and hearing you talk about your craft and also the feel the energy, like when you sing or something like that, if we're lucky we'll get you, let's hear a couple more, is that there is a craft, there is a process in writing that gives you consistency every time for the quality that you do. So when we were talking about earlier about really focusing on being sure the strength of the song is as it should be, so that can be the first knock on the door for you wherever you go is an important step. And so when you're trying to develop publishing relationships, if someone were to try to get to your publishing company, the first thing I would imagine, the first knock would have to be how credible is what you're bringing. Because if you've got some semblance of not being what it ought to be, that door may not open. So I guess you're really saying to encourage writers to really focus on the creative process to the extent of being competitive and quality-wise to the marketplace.
Absolutely. I mean, that's all it is. The first step to any meeting that I'm going to take or any of my staff is going to take is send me a link. You know, send me a link. I want to hear 6 great things. You know, only 5 or 6 great things. And if the quality of all those 5 or 6 great things are there, then we're going to meet and we're going to talk. And all publishers are the same way. It all starts with music. It all comes back to that. Like I was just saying with, you know, the guy just signed, it's just the quality is so overwhelmingly great that nobody can deny it. And if you get your music to that point, you won't have any trouble. You know, the music business has open arms for people who have talent because, you know, truly great songs and people who write at that level consistently will win. I mean, and I, you know, this is probably off the subject, but you know, I was just saying, I've had 2,000 songs not recorded, right? Some of those are pretty good. You know, they don't all suck. But the point of that is, you know, keep your quality overall. You don't know which one is going to be the one. You know, Sometimes the one you think is the one isn't the one, but the next one that you thought was kind of okay is the one. So there's a volume is a big deal too, in my opinion, because especially with commercial songwriters like me, and it's sort of like you got to be like a used watch salesman. Sort of, it's like, hey, you don't like that one? Well, I got one over here, and then I got one right here. You know, I got one in my back pocket. You know, it's sort of that because you don't know which flavor that particular artist wants to hear that moment. It can be, artists are fickle, producers are fickle. It can depend on what they heard on the radio that morning on the way to the studio, whether they're recording, you know, what mood they're in. And so it's good to have lots and lots of options. So let's put it that way.
Artist relationships. Writers who are successful, it's quite easy to understand how you would have a relationship with someone that's open to sit and hang with you or listen to you. I was in LA last week with John Mayer.
Yeah.
Because you got a little juice, it's easy to sit with them. But for writers who don't have the opportunity to get with that artist, I guess the core to getting that door open is the quality of the consistency on every song you write, being sure that the quality of it is competitive to the quality of what you perceive to be the best song that you've written.
Absolutely, it's the same thing. I mean, it all comes back to the quality of the music. And if they can hear a hit that you wrote for them and fall in love with it, guess what? Guess who they want to call and write with? If it's really inspiring, the next person they want to write with is you. And that's how you get. I mean, the music always leads the way. It's not. You know, it's not necessarily who you know, it's how good your work is. And so, I mean, I don't know if you feel the same way. But
I feel the same way. In each aspect of it.
Sure.
It's how good your work is. If you're an artist, how good is it you are as an artist? If you're a producer, how diverse you are with the process of putting music together in a strong way for whoever you're working with. And if you're a songwriter, how good is that? It's every song that I hear.
Yeah.
It may not be the song that knocks me out at that particular day. Like you said, we're fickle as artists, but the consistency of quality makes me want to hear your next one.
Right.
So, let us hear another one of those hits.
Let's see.
Another one of those hits.
I'm trying to think of something. I'll play this. Because I just said, something I just said reminded me of this song. This song was the 5th song on a demo session of 5. I thought it was a throwaway. I didn't think anybody would really care. I wasn't even sure I really got it when we wrote it. You know? I really almost didn't even do a demo on it. And next thing you know, it was an 8-week #1 and won a Grammy. So she was driving last Friday on her way to Cincinnati on a snow white Christmas Eve. Going home to see her mama and her daddy with her baby in the backseat. 50 miles to go and she was running low. Free from gas to me. It's been a long, hard year. She had a lot on her mind and she didn't pay attention. She was going way too fast. Before she knew what she was spinning on the thin black sheet of glass, she saw both their lights flash before her eyes. She didn't even have time to cry. She was so scared. She threw her hands up in the air. Y'all sing it. Jesus, take the wheel. Take it from my hands. 'Cause I can't do this on my own. I'm letting go. So give me one more chance. Save me from this road I'm on. Jesus, take the wheel. It was still turning colder when she made it to the shoulder and that car came to a stop. She cried when she saw that baby in the backseat sleeping like a rock. For the first time in a long, long time, she bowed her head and prayed. She said, I'm sorry for the way that I've been living my life. Though I've got to change. So from now on tonight, Jesus, take the wheel. Take it from my hands. 'Cause I can't do this on my own. I'm letting go. So give me one more chance and save me from this road.
Now, for those of you who understand the power of music, and I know everyone in this room does, I think the consistency of one great song to the next great song is very easy to see in those pieces of work. And I think the motivation for writers who have aspirations to do this should be the thought of, let me work toward being consistent in all my efforts.
Absolutely.
In the process.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about. And then when you get to that, you want to see what happens. When you write a great song and you get it out in the marketplace and it's being heard, I know it was like that for us back in the Stax days. We know we've created something good, but we didn't know until we know. And so what had to happen was that it would be put out there. But at least the comfort was, you done your part as first.
You did your best.
Yes. So with each of those songs that you had, you know, it was a good feeling with the music. There will be the compliments to it, but you know you did your best.
And that's all you can do as a songwriter, you know? I mean, you really, that's the difficult thing about even guys like David in my position. I mean, I can't make any artist ever record a song. I can't hold a gun to anybody's head and say, you gotta cut this. I can tell them I like it, you know? I never oversell, I never, you know, this is the greatest thing I've ever written, none of that stuff. And you just can't, it's up to them. And so that's sort of the frustrating thing about being a songwriter, but you have to get comfortable with the fact that all you can do is your best work. And leave it up to sort of powers that be and to God whether it ends up in the right hands.
That is key. Let's see if we can take a couple questions while we got a big audience going on in the back of us. And then we're going to get you.
You said the first step is send us a link. Will a publishing house open an email with a link from an unknown?
Not usually, honestly. I mean, usually it has to come through somebody else. They need to be referred. They need to refer. Somebody had to hear you play live and go, wow, somebody else heard the music and sent it on that they already knew and trusted. Because honestly, they just don't have time to listen to everybody's. And so that's usually comes through a channel.
So you got to get out there, right? This young man right there. So you want to get out there. You want to find ways to get out through public access, as many opportunities as you can, so you can get out there and meet as many people, look for as many opportunities as you can, because you don't know which will be the key opportunity to do it before you.
This one.
What do you think about like website like Rebird Nation TuneCore? What do you think about those? Is it a good source for for trying
Do you do stuff out there?
Yeah, Rebird Nation TuneCore.
I'm not as knowledgeable as I should be about those things. I hear great things, but really I'm not the one that asks everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just not good at that stuff yet.
You can come to the Talent Development Complex and I'll answer that question.
I see that.
All right, you hear that?
I
You
don't
come
know,
to the
but I know someone who knows. How about that?
come to the Talent Development Complex, Mariah Rickard, and she can give you some information about that.
Kind of at the same tune of what she was saying, in that process of like meeting somebody who can get you to those places. What you say, things like songwriters nights and open mics and getting involved with like the NSAI is like a really good way of like opening those doors and meeting people can help get those links to publishers.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's our usual answer is get out there, play all the open mics you can play, meet and work with other people, collaborate with people. If you're a songwriter that's great at an open mic, go up to them and say, we should write together. And that creates a whole nother thing. And she said NSAI, which is the National Songwriter Association International, they have a chapter here in Memphis. They're a great resource to get your songs heard. Also, ASCAP and BMI are great places to start. If you don't have to be a pro to sign up at ASCAP and BMI, and they all have reps that meet with writers off the street. And we get referred writers all the time from ASCAP and BMI. They hear a guy they like, pass it along to publishing companies A, B, and C. And so that's a good
When you're writing a song, how much emphasis are you putting on lyrics versus music?
It's a great question. There's kind of an adage, and I'm lucky enough to get to work in Nashville and LA quite a bit both. the kind of general rule that we use is in pop music, melody's king, and in country music, lyric is king. And I think that's pretty true. It's those lines are obviously always getting crossed, and sometimes that rule doesn't hold true. But I will say that in most pop sessions, we'll spend a whole lot more time on the melody, getting that right first, making sure we're in love and it feels good before we even jump in the lyric a lot of times. And in Nashville, it's just the opposite. Most of the time in Nashville, we start with a lyrical idea or a title or a hook, a lyrical concept, and we write the song based on that. So, I mean, I think that's kind of an overarching general rule that in pop, kind of melody's king, and in country, obviously lyrics.
In the studio, have you ever had like a discrepancy or a problem with the producer of the song, and you may feel like he's taken away from your song, or have you ever had one of those situations?
A million times. And you know what you do? You smile, and when they invite you to come here, you tell them how awesome it is. Because you can't control that. You know, once it's in the producer's hands, especially if it's, you know, say, pick Carrie Underwood, for instance. I'm just using her as an example. Her longtime producer is Mark Bright. And if he did something, and he's done a lot of my songs that I love them all, honestly. But if he didn't, guess what? I'd love it too. Because that's odd. Because I could be wrong. And I've had songs that I hated the recording the first time I heard it. I just thought they missed it completely and were going to be a big hit. So I'm wrong just as, you know, I'm wrong just as much as they're. Maybe they're right, I'm wrong. So let's smile, high five, and say thank you, you know?
There you go. There you go.
When you almost gave up songwriting, the music industry, how did that affect your songwriting?
It helped immensely. Going back to med school was the greatest thing that happened to my songwriting, because I've been in Nashville from '92 to '99, and like I said, I had a big publishing deal, had a big record deal, and lost all that, and I thought I was just kind of giving up, and I was like, literally, I was going back to medical school in Oklahoma. It couldn't have been farther from the music business, and what that did, but I still had a publishing deal for another year. You know, they said, well, you're under contract for a year, let's see what happens. And it freed me up to sort of say, screw Nashville, I'm gonna write what I think is cool, instead of what I think they think is cool, or I'm not gonna try to get so much in any box that, you know, when you're kind of riding on Music Row in Nashville every day, you sort of can be very confining. You feel like you're kind of under this pressure to create a widget that they might think works in the marketplace. And I was so far away from it, I was kind of literally like, screw Nashville, I'm gonna write what I like. And it turns out what I like worked. So it was very freeing for me. I think that's a good lesson. Kind of you let go sometimes, do your thing. You know, let other people do what you think their thing is. Don't try to chase, but kind of do your thing. And if your thing's cool, they'll come find you. Does that make sense? Yeah, the great majority, yeah.
I play guitar, and I know that you're using a lot of chord progression. So what I want to ask you, when you're writing, do you think you should just kind of keep it simple? So I think I was using a lot of chords.
Well, I think that just depends on I don't use that many chords. I only know about 5, but I think it depends on what style of music you're writing, you know. I think, and whatever suits the song, you know. I find lately, you know, I think the trend over the last 3 or 4 years is to simplify chord progressions. It kind of drives me a little crazy because there's a lot of chords I miss. You don't hear a lot of 5-3 chords and 5 sharps, 4 minors on pop radio anymore. Those are some of my favorite chords, so I hope they come back. But for the moment, a lot of times it's because people are writing the tracks. And a track might just have a, you know, 1, 6, 4, 5 progression over and over again. So it's kind of cool because it's more challenging if you write enough melodies over that same progression to make it interesting. But I kind of miss them. I kind of miss the chord progressions.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No doubt.
I think we have time for one more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what you think about like this new wave coming up. Dave Cobb is a producer, Jason Isbell, Chris Stapleton, those guys. And I want to know when you're going to make an album with him.
When I'm going to make an album with Dave Cobb?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for asking. Dave's amazing. He's fantastic. I'm a big fan of all that stuff. You know, Stapleton's been one of my dear friends for years. lot of people don't know, Stapleton's made probably 6 records before this one. He had a moment on CMAs that actually took his talent to the rest of the world, but Nashville's known about him forever. I'm a huge fan of Isabel, those guys. I think it's, that's kind of, it's a subgenre. I mean, what Jason does is kind of considered Americana, but that's a big umbrella too, and they're making some incredible music in that world. I have 2 of my writers that are doing that full time now, pretty much, and I'm a fan. And the songs are usually pretty great.
The great thing about getting someone of the talent of Brett James is you can learn so much so quickly. So, is there anyone that have? Did we touch on things in an informative way for you to get a benefit from? Yes. Great. We're going to be doing another. Where's George? Where's George? You want to tell the folk about?
Okay, the next speaker series will be March 19th. It will be Martin Atkins, Tour Smart. Martin, of course, was a drummer for 9 Inch Nails, as label owner, artist, entrepreneur, author of the book Tour Smart. So we'll be talking about touring and leaving your region and how to grow that base. We'll continue that conversation over the next several months. So those that are out tonight, if you're not on our mailing newsletter list, please sign up and invite others that you're collaborating with. I think Brett touched on collaboration and the importance of it. Those who have been through some of our programs know that we stress that. So again, I encourage you to bring someone else out so that you guys can continue to add to your knowledge base. And again, that is March 19th here at the Talent Development Complex, starting at 11 a.m. So you can come to this space. It'll be a little bit quieter next time. And again, Martin Atkins.
All right, thank you. All right, guys, let me just say, if I could just say a great deal of gratitude and thanks to my friend Brett James, who is a just tremendously accomplished creative mind in every aspect of the music business, was kind enough to fly in here. One day I'd have my own plane, but I think it's too late today, so I'll just ride with Brett and his. But just so kind of him to come in to Memphis, Tennessee, to share with you guys. I hope I get an amen that you've enjoyed. Well, Brett, we've talked about, and we were talking back then, you and I, about Memphis and about certainly our great hopes for Memphis, Tennessee, and the fact that there's so much talent in this community and so much promise for the future in this city.
Something in the water out here, y'all. It's a pretty serious sound.
Yes. So I think that George has mentioned some of the pluses about the Consortium program. I think, Mariah, you mentioned to everyone about access to the Talent Development Complex. So these programs are here specifically to help make our music community better, specifically to re-energize a viable music industry in Memphis, Tennessee, and it's going to happen, as the country folks say. So we are very excited about it, and certainly a great deal of gratitude to Brett James, who launched this experience for us in such a great way. So once again, a great day. All right, if that's it, George, is that, you have something?
That's it.
Guys, thank you so very, very much. Thank you. Brett James.